Welcome back to Mid-10, y'all. Just got done doing the 500-hour service, well, yesterday on a Kubota. So I told you guys I would do a review on it after a year. So I've had this thing now for almost 12 months, 12 months in this month. So let's go through what I like about it, what I don't like about it, kind of go over it. Backstory, this is an M5-091 2024 model, 2023 model. I got my years wrong here. So M5-091 HDC, actually, 2023 model. Got this last March with 50 hours on it. Went down to my local dealer, Brown's Equipment, going to pick up a 7060, is what I was looking at, cabless tractor. And I had this one a lot used with 50 hours on it. And it was not much more than a new M7060. So I broke down and bought this thing instead. It came with a 8-foot bucket. So it's got a big bucket on it, got an 8-foot bucket on it. Bought a Lampley hay sprayer you see there, and got a set of pallet forks, an ES pallet forks from somewhere else. That's what I bought with it. When I got it, I had them add a air ride seat to it. I had them add a third option to the front end loader, so I've got a third option on it, which I haven't used yet, but I want a third option on it because I want the ability to add something to the front grapple, something in the future. I want that ability. So that's how I basically spec'd it out with them. When I bought it from, I had them add the air ride seat and the third option to it, like I said. That's basically the way she said it. Come with 50 hours, like I said, just had the 50-hour service done to it, and now it's got 568 hours around about on it, 560 hours on it. So I put 500 hours on this thing in the last 11 and a half months. And honestly, I ain't put 500 hours on it. I probably put 100 on it. My 14-year-old now, when he was 13, started driving this thing, and he's put 400 hours on this thing. That's the reason I got it. This one having on 50 hours on it, still has a manufacturer warranty on it, which is actually up this May. Standard warranty on it, so it still has a warranty on it. And when I got it, I bought the K-TAC insurance, that Kubota insurance you can get, which I recommend buying because it's worth it. Every time I got it, it's worth it. This is the first DEF tractor on the farm. We have not run DEF tractors and don't have DEF in anything we own. So this is the first DEF system we have. So let's start off the conversation with DEF, because that's where a lot of people don't like DEF. I don't like DEF. It's garbage. But that was kind of a sticking point with me when I looked at this tractor, was like, what's that DEF on it? That's why I was trying to stay with a lower horsepower tractor. So I won't have to get DEF, but it was such a good deal, I got it. Got a DEF system on it. DEF tank here. 3-gallon DEF tank, I think. 3.2-gallon DEF tank on it. A DEF jug is 2.5 gallons on it. DEF system had not have a problem with DEF system. But with that being said, you read the manual on these things. This thing say to check your DEF system pretty regular, minimum every 3 months, and if it starts to smell like ammonia, drain it. What do? I mean, a jug of DEF's like 16, 17 bucks, maybe 20 bucks at most. Every 3 months I drain this thing. If it's got DEF in it, I drain it. Hang out the bottom, it's got a plug on the bottom, comes out real easy. Drain it, put new DEF in it, don't worry about it. It does not run a lot of DEF. I have run this thing, like I said, 500 hours on it, and I've run maybe 6 jugs of DEF through it. I put 6 jugs of DEF in it maybe, and that's me pouring some out and draining it. So what I'll do, I've got a note in my calendar on my phone. It goes off every 3 months. That time to check a DEF and drain it. So I just drain it and go on with it. And so I have not had a problem with it. People haven't run DEF before, just heads up. When you start buying DEF, I've learned this the hard way. DEF has a shelf life. There's a date code on the box. You can look at the box and see the date code. It's not a date you can read. You can Google it and look up the code, how to read the code, and tell you when the DEF was produced. But it does have a shelf life. It only lasts so long. So be careful buying DEF. Don't buy cheap DEF. I buy name brand DEF. And don't buy DEF on sale. There's a reason it's on sale. It's because it's almost bad. I'll tell you that right now, because I bought some stuck in the shop when I bought this tractor. By the time I needed that DEF jug, I opened it up, it was bad. I lost the DEF jug right there. I don't keep DEF around here because of that. This thing burns so little DEF that I can run to town and buy DEF and not have to worry about it, because I get plenty of time when it gets low to buy DEF. I ain't no hurry. So I don't keep DEF around just for that reason. The tractor does have a regen on it too. So when DEF-wise, when it does need to regen or burn off, it gives you a warning light on here and flashes to regen. It's got a sticker up here on top of it right there. It talks about it right here. When it does that, all you gotta do is run a tractor above 2,000 RPM, I think, and it runs to a cycle. You ain't gotta stop. You ain't got to stop what you're doing. You can keep going. Only downside with that, if I'm trying to do you know, delicate work, like let's say I'm trying to stack hay. I don't want to run this thing at 2,500 RPM, 2,000 RPM. I'm running around 1,500 RPM. You have to throttle it up and drop down a gear and mess with her. Other thing is, I've had it a couple times. It started to regen about the time I'm done for a day and try and go put it in the barn. Well, now I've got to sit there and let the tractor burn off for, I think it's like 2 minutes. It ain't long. But I guess they'll let her burn off now. But when I burn her off, I ran her hard, because you got to throttle up and let her run her hard. So now you got to let her sit there and idle for 5 minutes, let the turbo cool back off before you shut her down. So that's the only bad problem about the regen, is the timing of it. I'm out here baling hay, I'm out here cutting hay, I'm out here disking. That regen kicks in, I never see it. Ain't a big deal. Run through it and go on, as long as you keep your throttle high enough. Ain't a big deal. Only time it's caught me like twice trying to put it in the barn. And I was like, dang it, it's got a regen, it kicks the regen on. You need to sit there and let it run the regen. You just don't sit here and play on your phone for a minute. Then you idle her back down 5 minutes, let the turbo cool off, because you ran her so hard. And then you're gonna put her in the barn. So you're gonna lose about 10 minutes from probably. Something like that. Put your phone out, play with your phone for a minute. You know, you're gonna do something for a minute. Just let her sit here and run. That's the only downside on the regen of it. So that's basically DEF on the thing, I think. Yeah, we'll call it. I may have to cover something else, but that's basically DEF on it. Okay, we will start with what I don't like about this tractor. I start with what I don't like, because there's a few things, and let's just get that out of the way, right? Number one, toolbox. Don't like it. It's small. It's in a bad spot. I don't like it. It's behind the tire. It catches a little garbage in it. It don't hold squat. It's just in a bad spot. I threatened to yank it off. I haven't done it. So I threatened to move it. I haven't found a good spot to stick it. It's really too low. It drags a little bit sometimes. Grass and stuff rubbed on, not in a hole. But I don't like it being out there. It's above, high enough above stuff, it don't drag bad, but you know, it gets stuff on it. I don't like it. I think it's got trash in it right now, a little bit in it. What I've done is I've actually went back and bought a ammo can, a plastic one, for a toolbox, and stuck in the tractor cab with me, because I like to keep a set of metric wrenches in here, an adjustable wrench, some metric Allen wrenches, you know, good plastic toolbox I've stuck in the cab here. That's what I do. A couple rags, a couple zip ties, a little bit of duct tape. Basically, everything I'm gonna need. So everybody's in the tractor with me. It's kind of out of the way. It sits over here, so it's out of the way. That's what I've done to alleviate that pain. I don't like that toolbox, and you'll hear other people talk about it. They don't like toolbox either. They really need to work on a better spot to put the toolbox. The only other thing that well, there's probably two other things that I don't like a lot about the tractor. They're not really bad, they're just nitpicky stuff. So let's talk about nitpicky stuff. While we're talking about DEF while ago, let's get up in here, I'll show you. So we'll start her up here. Right now, we have a DEF light on, and it's on because it's below 50%. So right here you have 26% DEF in it. I know what Kubota did. They set a warning beep on this thing so it beeps when it gets low on DEF. That means it starts beeping at 50%. This thing is gonna run days at 50% DEF. Days. This thing has, this thing come on 50% DEF a month ago. Now, it's winter, I'm setting out hay. I did clean out the feedlot with it. You know, I did clean out a pond with it last weekend. I've run it some, but I have not burnt that much DEF. So this thing will beep about every 5 minutes. It's a high-pitched beep, which you learn to tune it out after a while, but it's just aggravating. I really wish I could go in there and adjust that Wish I could adjust that down to like a quarter a tank when they start beeping at me. It's more annoying when it's close to 50%. It's like maybe 52%, and you get a side hill, and the def goes to one side of the tank, and then it goes below 50%. And then you come back up, and it goes above 50%, and it goes back below, because it beeps each time it goes below 50%. It's aggravating. I really wish there's some adjustment in that to go on our system. And it may be. If there is, and I'm missing it, guys, drop it in the comments below and let me know, because I need to adjust that thing. It's aggravating. I ain't figured out how to adjust it. I don't think there is without going in the computer and fixing it. So, but there is, it needs to be. So that's issue number 2 I don't like about it. It's just, and it's not a bad problem, guys, it's just aggravating. Other thing that's not real fond of, it's got a great light system on it with you around your cab. You can see good at night driving down the field. You can see really good, the LED lights on it. The only other problem is the headlights with this big bucket sit a little low. And it ain't a big deal when you don't have the bucket on here. But again, this thing has an 8-foot bucket, and it's really more bucket than it needs, but it's got an 8-foot bucket, so I'm using it. So when you run this bucket right here, it sits above your headlights and kind of shines here, and it kind of blocks the road running down the road at night. So I got why I don't run a bucket at night going down the road. I run a hay sprayer, or I don't run nothing at all. I really try to run something, because I don't like running nothing. I'm gonna try to run something, a hay sprayer or something like that. You run a hay sprayer ain't a big deal. The light shine through it, but a bucket kind of blocks it. And of course, this is a big bucket for this tractor. I mean, 8-foot bucket, which is nice. 8-foot bucket is nice. But, and it picks up 8-foot bucket. It'll pick up 8-foot bucket of gravel. It'll pick up 8-foot bucket of manure. It'll pick up a lot of stuff with 8-foot bucket. But the problem is you gotta be careful. She's light in the rear end. Back tires get a little light on it. Now I did get the tires filled with fluid. So yes, there is fluid in the tires. If you get one of these tractors, I recommend fluid in tires because it's a lighter tractor. And I recommend the rear wheel weights. This one didn't come with the weights. They have they have a cast rim, I think. This is not a cast rim, which is heavier, and they have rear wheel weights. Recommend those, just to get some more weight on the rear end of this thing. Because this is a lighter tractor. Like all new tractors, there's light. It's not like these old heavier steel tractors in the 80s and 90s and 70s that we run, which are heavier tractor. With that being said, it'll pick up more than it needs to, so you have to be careful with it, with that 8-foot bucket. So those are 3 things that I don't really like about it. And again, if that's all I got to complain about, I'm not complaining about much. That's the problems I have with it. Knowing only problems I've had that I don't like about it. Now, so I put 500 hours on it. Question number 2 is, what trouble have I had out of it, those 500 hours? Because I have had some trouble. You'll have trouble out of everything. So what have I had? Not major. So, issue number 1. These hydraulic couplers on here will seep sometimes right here. They'll seep. Factory issue. It's easy to change. I've swapped out one. I think it's actually this one I swapped out because it's seeping. It's a warranty issue. I just took it off, undid that, took it down to Kubota. They gave me another one. I put it on there. Issue number 2 I had, which is also an issue with these tractors sometimes, is this is a cable system. Everything's cable on it. There's no electronics. Now, when I say cable, there's somebody shooting. Neighbors are practicing over there, ain't they? Shooting a lot of guns. When I say cable system, hydraulics are cables. There's cables on here that go to the back, cables on this that go down to your front loader. Everything's cable. Cables, which is nice. Only thing that's not cable is your 3rd option, but everything else is cables. It takes electronics out of it, which makes it easier to work on. That also being said, the cable for this loader got stiff. So it has a tendency to corrode inside the cable. The fix for that is to spray some oil in it and work it good and get it loosened up, or swap it out. I had them come out and look at it because it's unwarranted still, and they sprayed some Kroll oil in it, I think. I'm pretty sure I sprayed Kroll oil and it's worked it, and that joystick works like a dream again now. There you go. 2 problems. That's what I've had. 2 problems out of it so far. And like I said, I put 500 hours on it. Now, let's talk about what I've done to it to set it up the way I like it. A couple little things which ain't major. First thing I did, I bought a tractor mat. This is actually a tractor brand tractor mat. It's laser cut to the floor, so it sits in there, keeps the floor clean. It keeps me wearing my floor out. See, floor looks brand new. Of course, I washed it yesterday because 500 hours on it, I washed it. But I recommend a tractor mat. They're a little pricey, but I can fold it up and pull it out and dump all dirt out and put it back in there. It's nice. I like it, and it keeps my floor from wearing out. Second thing I've done to it, I put a Tiger, I think it's a Tiger cover, seat cover on it, a Tiger brand cover. This is a water resistant, oil resistant, so water and stuff don't go through. Seat cover to cover up your black cloth seat, because we all know black seats wear out on cloth seats, and I'm sitting my butt in it all the time. So I got a seat cover. Really, it's pretty simple and it's all. You slip it over. What I've done is there's a couple bolts here and there on the bottom. I think it's 2 bolts, maybe 4, and some on the back. You take those bolts out, pull the cushion off, slide the cover on, put the bolts back in there. Now, my seat cover never moves. It's part of the seat, because that's one of the aggravating things about seat covers. I ain't got to worry about my seat wearing out now, because I got a seat cover on it. I'm trying to keep some value in this tractor. That's why she's washed. That's why I got a seat cover in her, and that's why she's shiny now. I've actually went in her armor all to try and keep all the plastic good in it right now. Like I said before, the other upgrade I added to it was the air ride seat. Guys, if you have not had an air ride seat, yeah, I think it was like a $800 option, something like that, for an air ride seat and thing. If you don't sit in this thing for 10 hours a day baling hay, 12 hours a day cutting hay, something like that, like we are, you need an air ride seat. Trust me, your back will thank you. You will not be feel wore out in a day. Air ride seat is the way to go. It's a cheap option. It's cheaper than a chiropractor, cheaper than a doctor for having you knocking your back out. So air ride seats, I recommend it. Also with the air ride seat, what has helped me out, and people don't think about it, is my 10-year-old runs this tractor too. That's right. My boys are running this tractor, that's why we got it. The air ride seat goes down lower. It will actually go down lower enough. So as you see, it goes down pretty good. But it goes down short enough, it still has a little spring in it, that my 10-year-old can sit here and his feet hit the ground and his feet touch the pedals. So he scoot all the way up with it, and his feet fully on the ground, his feet on the pedals, he's buckled up, he's good to go with it. That's another reason I bought it. They got the air ride seat, because the standard seat I had in it before, because I had a standard seat in it, they had to order air ride, it didn't come in today, I got it. They come back in and put air ride in like a month later, which is fine. But with the standard seat, it would not sit down low enough, his feet couldn't hit the floor. He could scoot up and drive it, but he had to scoot his butt off the seat to hit the pedals all the way to the floor, which I didn't want him to do. I want him to be able to sit down, scoot up, put the pedals to the floor. So it's handy for letting kids drive, or if you're extra short. I know there's some people out there extra short. You need to lower that seat down some. So air ride seat. Boiler monitor, CB radio, not CB, Midland radio. I've got here phone mount. I bought Ram mounts. These are Ram mounts, a Ram phone mount. But these also Ram bar mounts to go on your bars here. They bolt to your, just wrap around your bars, bolt on. I've got this thing has a, I guess to describe it, a RPM hold mode or RPM memory on it. So you have this button here, an A and a B, and the A's wore off because I use it so much, but B. What this does is I can set a memory RPM to it. The way I use it is for baling hay. I've got it programmed to the RPM I want to run my baler at. So I'm running through the field. I get ready to start baling hay, get the PTO turned on tractor. I get a low idle to it. I hit the A button. It takes the tractor immediately to the RPM I want it to run at and starts running through the field at the RPM. When I'm ready to kick a bale out, I hit the A button again. It drops that PTO, that RPM immediately back down to where it was idle before. I kick my bale out. Then when I'm ready to go, I hit the button again, it speeds it back up. Do that because it saves me time. I ain't sitting there trying to find my RPM on the throttle, which is easy to find, but it's just quicker. So I've got where I use that button. Works really good with it. Got a good air conditioning system in it. It will freeze you out, which I like, especially being down here low. Down here, so all the air conditioner down here low actually blows on you. It ain't in the top of the cab like some older stuff we got, so you're fighting the heat of the cab. It's got a sunroof on it, which is handy. I have used it at times for loading stuff up because you can pull it back and see a little better. I haven't used it a lot. I've used it once or twice just when I'm picking up some stuff really high, maybe stacking hay. I think when I was stacking hay 3 high over here back last fall, I was using it so I could see good above me. That's basically everything with the tractor. Now, what have I done with this tractor? That's a good question. What have I done with it? Have I actually run this tractor 500 hours? Have I ran it hard? You can go back and watch the videos. There's a bunch of videos on this tractor running. What have I done with it? I pulled a 12-foot disc with it through some deep mud, and she walked through it. So I've disced with it. I have cut hay with it. I had a Kuhn 9-foot disc mower I ran on it last year. I've got a Kubota 9-foot DRM 2028. I'm going to put it on it this year. So this will be running a 9-foot disc mower on it this year. I have ran a baler with it. This is my baler tractor. I have a Kubota BV4160E, the Colony model baler. Runs this baler no problem. Doesn't lug it down, and I'm not baling smooth ground. You can go back and watch old hay videos. You can go back into, I think, the 2024 hay videos, and this tractor's running, you'll see it running a cutter, and you'll see it running a baler. And that's the 2024 hay playlist videos. I'll try to remember to throw a link in there to that. So that tractor running this. I have, what else have I done with this tractor? I'm trying to think of it. We pulled a 15-foot bush hog with it, a Rhino bush hog this fall, and bush hog corn stalks with it. It ran a 15-foot bush hog, Rhino bush hog fine. I actually didn't burn a lot of fuel with it because we didn't run her high. We just ran the RPM high enough to chop stalks up with it, and it was a dream on fuel. And ran the bush hog fine. Now I did pull the motor down some when we kick it on. Once it bush hog turned once, it idled up and ran fine. So it can run a 15-foot bush hog, no problem. We have cleaned out, like I said, I cleaned out my calf lot last weekend. I used this tractor to load up all the manure with it and dig it out. I have used this tractor to clean out a pond last weekend. We went to a pond that was not dry, basically dry, and dug it out with this tractor here. And again, that's where you get into this bucket will pick up more than you need to, so be careful with 8-foot bucket. I love my 8-foot bucket, especially digging stuff, and I like it bush hogging with it too, to be honest with you. I run the bucket bush hogging. Why do I run the bucket bush hogging? Because I run the bucket a little low. It's 8 foot wide. It's as wide as the tires. As wide as tires. So think about it. If I'm going to hit something with the tractor, if I run that bucket low, I'm hitting it with the bucket before I am the tractor. I'm hitting it with the bucket. Tires ain't hitting it, nothing else. If I'm hitting the stump or something else, tires are hitting it. I mean, the bucket's hitting it. That's the way I like to run it. So I really like the 8-foot bucket on it. It's just a little more than it needs to handle at times. So all in all, I've been very happy with the purchase of this tractor. And like I said, I put my 14-year-old on it now 14-year-old on it, and he's running it, and it's, I could tell them to go out and go, they come out there and check oil, check the fluid in it, and go with it. This tractor has done everything I've asked it to do the last 12 months. So if you're looking at Kubota, looking at a 90 horsepower tractor, the M5 is a good tractor. Like I said, just don't be scared to death. Again, trick with death is drain the daggum tank. It's cheap, pour it out. Dispose of it like you're supposed to. I ain't gonna tell you how to dispose of it, but there's a way to dispose of it. Dispose of it. And fill it back up with good def. And there it is. Been a good little tractor. Like I said, the boys run it and put more hours on it than I have, and it survived. So that says something. You got kids running it, and it's still in good shape. Fuel-wise, it's been really good on fuel. It's got 27.5 gallon tank here. It will run, this tractor will run all day long on a tank of fuel, and you'll be fine. So I ain't got to fill it back up. I can run it all day, and she's good. But I think that is all I know about the tractor. I know I forgot some things, but I may think of them later. I don't know. If you got a question, feel free to drop in a comment. I'll try to answer it. Like I said, I've been really happy with the tractor. I bought it down at Brown Equipment in Laredo, Tennessee. Like I said, they not sponsored. They don't sponsor me. They give me a hat, but they better give me a hat. I bought a tractor. So not sponsorship deal. Just good guys to deal with. If you're in the county, you're local, talk to Browns. They'll treat you right. They got plenty of tractors down there to look at. And they get in some good used ones every day, like this one. Like I said, happy with it though, and think it'll be a good one. Appreciate you guys joining us. Remember, thumbs up video, ain't done it yet. If you got a question, drop in a comment. I'll try to answer it. As always, good Lord's willing, we'll catch you on the flip side. Till next.